2024 was an interesting year for me. It's the year I wanted to really kick off my YouTube channel by completing games, doing playthroughs, live streams, adding a quiz to YouTube shorts and having takes. Safe to say it's been a very interesting and often fun journey. My goal at the start of the year was to upload a video every single week of the year, and I'm glad to say that succeeded. We will keep building on the channel. I'm going to give myself a little slack though. So I won't be uploading weekly as it's quite time stressful to complete a game, record and write everything, edit and release a video all by myself. So while I'll still be uploading regularly, it'll be in a bit less volume. This way I can focus more on completing games without the stress of having to put out a new video every week. We'll still have the daily shorts where you can guess gaming characters though, that's not being reduced. Today I'd like to cover all the best games I've played this year. As with last year's video, these aren't exclusive to games that were released this year. It also includes games I either discovered this year, rediscovered how fun they actually are to play, and well yes, great games that were released this year. So if you're wondering what to play, perhaps an older title here will satisfy those needs as well. It's time to cover some games. Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. I'd like to specifically mention Chapter 3 here. Released in early 2024, it's still very fresh on my mind on how terrifying certain sections were. As someone who's played many horror games and watches horror movies on the regular, I seldomly feel fear these days. But boy, did a certain part in this game get me there. The game succeeds in keeping you unsettled, stressed, and at times absolutely terrified. If you drop the series after Chapter 2, give Chapter 3 a chance, it's good. Slay the Princess. Released at the end of 2023, this game totally flew under the radar until a good friend gifted me this. What resulted was an experience that dragged me in 5 minutes into the game, and it didn't let go until its conclusion. I've probably mentioned it somewhere in some other video about how much I love Doki Doki Literature Club, and this game fueled the same fire. It can be haunting, terrifying, hilarious, depressing, and so much more. This is one of those games where knowing less is more. There's not a second chance at a first impression, and that's where this game shines. Mahjong Soul. Definitely the odd one in this list, but stay with me. Ever since I started my journey to complete every Yakuza and Like a Dragon game in existence, and getting my ass handed to me in Mahjong, I took the time to learn the ins and outs of this game. Turns out I really like it. So much that I started to cover Mahjong on this channel for other Yakuza enthusiasts to complete their games. Mahjong Soul has a large player base. It's comforting to play, and if you like anime waifus and husbandos, it's an added bonus. If you don't, it's quite easy to look past it all if you don't do any of the side experiences. Drug Dealer Simulator 2. Again, not joking, this is the current game I'm trying to complete with some Yakuza 5 here and there. I've been looking forward to this sequel for a while, and when they finally added achievements, it's all hands on deck to get it completed. The sequel has some issues here and there, and it suffers from some typical simulation problems, but it's really nice to build your empire all over Isle Sombra. The game released in a poor state, but a lot of the issues have been fixed by now, and it's really enjoyable now. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Hear me out. I never had a Nintendo 64 or the game for the GameCube, so my only real experience of this game was when a friend loaned it to me and I tried beating the game for weeks and weeks on end. After that, I got the re-released version on the 3DS but never pushed through to beat it again. Until this year, where I finally revisited on Twitch and YouTube Live, and oh my god, this is such a masterpiece. I don't have the same nostalgic feeling for it as others, but it still holds enough magic for me to understand everyone who grew up on it. Undertale and Undertale Yellow. I like to cover both these games at the same time. Early this year, we've covered both Undertale and Undertale Yellow on this channel as an extended playthrough. Something we barely do here. The reason for it is I've put off playing Undertale for so long. I wanted to enjoy, but I just couldn't get myself through it. Then I decided to force myself through it by covering the game on the channel, and oh boy was it beautiful. So good that I wanted to try Undertale Yellow as well, and it just completely blew me away. If you're curious about our experience, definitely check the video out here. Marvel Rivals. In a nutshell, this game is just Overwatch with Marvel characters. That's kind of all you need to know. But the reason why I've still included this in the list is because even Overwatch doesn't feel like Overwatch anymore. So getting something that still has character instantly drew me in. Thinking about the early years of Overwatch 1 makes me sad to see in which state it currently is in. Marvel Rivals so far is enjoyable, and while certain characters are definitely stronger than others, it hasn't really destroyed my fun. Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree. Okay, before continuing, no, I haven't played Astrobot because I can't afford a PS5 right now, and I haven't played Black Myth Wukong as we are saving this game to play on Twitch and YouTube live for the very first time. So where do I begin? This DLC felt magical. From Software expanded on what they had at the base game and went completely nuts with it here. I remember on my first playthrough that they absolutely cranked the bosses up to 11, but on multiple playthroughs it felt quite balanced and decent, except for you know who. There is just something about discovering a new world in From Software games that really pumps me up. Not knowing what's behind a certain door or whether a boss decides to surprise you with another phase. So far, I think this is my favorite DLC for a Souls-like I've experienced so far. The standards have been raised again. Tell me all about the games you've played this year, old or new. Share everything I've missed. I know there's been plenty, but there's only so much time and money I can spend playing. If we ever go full time on YouTube, it can be a different story. That's all for this year. Enjoy your Christmas next week, and I'll see you in the new one.